they are promoting it. How low can you go? And you allowing those babies to be killed,
But this
the
is
women to be get murdered, you know?
this is something that's never ever stopped. The European countries, they portray one side, they portray the other side. They say it's terrorism, and the Israelis are terrorists. I mean, as I said, and I think we all three of us agreed last week, the destruction of 200 people in a concert for peace. Now, what have they ever done to anybody?
Correct.
We have a right to live. We have a right to have children.
Yes.
We have a right to love our families.
Absolutely.
No matter what faith we are or what religion we are, we have the right to live a peaceful life, no matter what country we are.
The message of Islam as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
As I said, I mentioned earlier, before the Israel came to Palestine, there was Jews living there peacefully, there was Christians living there peacefully, there was Muslims living there.
Actually, they didn't want an Israel state for themselves. You know,
Yeah.
it was, but it's just the narrative has been pushed down on Balfour Declaration, and from that you are aware of those early 1900 Balfour Declaration, because that treaty was a killer, and that treaty was a significant change in the land of Palestine and Israel where they are now, because that treaty actually, instead of bringing peace, it makes chaos, corruption, and killing innocent civilians. Look, I condemn both sides. We should not kill any soul. You know, Quran clearly goes that whoever kills a single soul as if he kills entire humanity, and whoever save one soul as if he saved the entire humanity. Our message is simple and clear. We are not, absolutely. Even in the war field, we have these restriction of who can we go and kill in fighting. So Islam legislated and given us a boundary. So even if how we react up the situation, it also been prescribed. So God does not want injustice in His land. We are here to promote justice, morality, and ethics, and that should come from godly heavenly law. The problem in this world, is the secularist idea, because the secular idea of living life. Because when you have a godly law absent, and you try to formulate or run the countries and the nations through your subjective understanding, you're bound to fall short. That's why, Allah constantly mentioned in the Quran, "Oh people, do not commit injustice." And every Friday in the masjid, in the khutbah, every Friday sermon, the imam reminds everyone, and he said one sentence, everybody memorize. If you ask any even like 10 years old Muslim, he will be able to tell you that Allah said, "Inna Allaha ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan." Allah instruct you to do justice. Allah's name is Al-Adl. Allah's attribute is Al-Adl. The one means Allah is telling you, I am just, so you are my nominee to this world. Allah sent Ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Allah sent as a nominee. And we have to.
I think if we read the Quran, we read the Bible, whatever religion, it says the same thing. It says the same thing. The words may be different, the petition of it may be different, but what we're actually saying is, and as I said to yourself earlier, we're killing innocent women and children, and that is unjust. And as I said, numbers doesn't come into it. And this will end, and this will only end with more hundreds of thousands of innocent mothers, fathers, children, grandparents dying in the name of a God or in the name of land. So
no, I think the whole idea is, look, even if you look at the Palestinian, they have so much sabr, which is the patience. They dealt things with very patiently. I mean, if you look at these people, they are unique people all around the planet. Because look at that,
I think
their
everyone
situation.
can be unique.
I'm saying in unique, when we're talking about, we don't hear a bombshell or bomb gun. We are not hearing all those gunfire. Now imagine if you are in a situation of, your grandfather passed away, your father passed away, your mother passed away, your brother, sister passed away, by someone, your neighbor, who's killing you constantly. We would not be saying the way we are saying things now.
No, of course not.
Do you see? So it's a matter of perception, how we see things. Because look, as a human being, and John, I respect you that you came out and you feel the way we feel as well, right? Because you have the care for the humanity. Yes, but at the same time, look, the narrative we need to give it to the media and all over the world. People need to know the truth. We cannot just continually oppress people.
I think no matter what the news portrays and what the news says, the truth is in our hands.
Yeah.
The truth is on the internet. Now, yes, people and whatever country, they will show you one side perhaps, and they will condemn what happened a week ago. Of course, we all do. But if we need to and we want to, there's a World Wide Web that we can all look into. And yes, you're right. We don't get both sides of every story. I don't think we ever do. But that's why, if we're human beings and we've got some brains in our head, we can look. You know, we can't say, oh, Israel are innocent, they've done no wrong, they've not killed anyone. That's not the case. Obviously it is, and this is about numbers.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, yes, both sides don't get portrayed as well as they should do. But if we take up the Bibles or take up the Quran or take up whatever Bible or whatever we look at, it's there in front of us. We can read it. In history we can read it, or we can go onto simple internet and read both sides of the story. So maybe that's what we should be telling people, because obviously you're saying...
But what would you do, John? Like, imagine if you are in a situation and your brothers, imagine your family. I just wanted to see how you feel about it. Imagine you have your parents, your brothers, your sister living there, and you heard some of them passed away by someone, their neighbor shot them and killed them. How would you react? What would you do?
Honestly, I've got no idea. How? I don't know. How? Would I want to kill them back? Would I want to
The reason I
Would
say
want
What
to
the
do-
Bible say about that situation?
Sorry? Thou shalt not kill.
No, like if something like that happened, what should you do? Like if something like that happened?
What does it say in the Bible?
Yeah.
Well, it said we shall not kill. Eye for an eye, for a tooth for a tooth.
God forbid if something like that happened.
No, I understand what you're saying, but no one can. You know, what would you do? Would you take up arms and kill the person who killed your family?
Like,
no. So what is the practical advice?
Is that
like?
Again, I'm not here to talk about practical advice or what I would do or what I
From
wouldn't
your
do.
end, like-
I got no idea what I would do. I don't know what I would do. Would I want them to be? Would I want to get them killed? I'd want justice. But it's never happened. Would I want to kill them? That may happen. I
Yeah,
don't know
like
what my mind.
John-
and I don't think anyone can actually
John,
say.
it's like a process, you know.
We are lucky enough.
Like, for example,
to be in a country that hasn't got these atrocities going on. And as I
Like
said,
for our process, John, as a Muslim living in the West, our duty is to aware people. We try to communicate through our social media to government and raise our voice and ensure them they work under the democratic law, the system that you should not oppress anyone, right? The laws are in place, but even our political people are violating. So we need to make sure, aware them in our best ability to make sure they don't do it. But as a Christian community, would you say your community should also stand up and speak out against this issue?
I think we all have the right to stand out and talk about whatever. Words are words. Words cannot kill you. And we have every right. Yes, as a Christian, yes, I will stand up for my beliefs. I will stand up for my family. But will I take arms to another one? Does the Bible, does the Quran say we can just discriminately go out and kill innocent women and children? You've both explained to me. You said in the Quran, it says you're allowed to protect your mother, your father, your grandparents, your children.
Yeah, this is in the hadith, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
in
it's
the war situation,
Yeah.
even in war situation, just in war situation, it's not the exchange of rose flower between them. War situation is someone is coming to kill you. If you don't kill him, he will kill you. Or even that situation, Islam clearly promoting and keeping the human rights in check by making exception that do not kill baby, do not kill children, do not cut food behind it, do not kill monk.
But
You
we
know,
can,
things-
we could. I mean, you were talking about the news and the news telling both sides. We can turn on the telly yesterday. We can see that's not the case. We can see the news doesn't particularly give 100% to both sides. But you can see what you just said. That's not true.
I think, to
Women
be
and
hon-
children on both sides are dying.
No, I think, John, I think if we say both sides, and I mean, if we look at the process, and as you mentioned the number, if we look at the process from last 100 years, And if you look at the repetition of killing by everyday Palestinian, now we're talking about one incident and comparing with last 80 or 90 years of constant every day someone who's doing breakfast and someone killed next to them. And we're talking about repetition of a century. That cannot even co-equate between these two groups. It's clearly a clear oppression going on one group, clearly, it clearly signifies, and yet I see the position of the political parties, and this is so sad to see. John, I don't know, you know, the narrative, and I don't know, maybe you can look it up. If you look at Balfour Declaration, and since that, Al Jazeera made some documentary about the Palestine, and many documentaries, even many non-Muslims, they made documentaries about Palestine and what's going on for last 100 years. And I think maybe you can look it up, those videos, educate about this situation, because it's particularly important, John. Why? I tell you, because as if like the media portraying, oh, both sides is killing. It's not actually the case. The case is clearly one party is suffering in the hand of another party. Now, if you constantly...
So what you're saying is one side is killing another side and the other side aren't losing life. I mean, you said we could go back 70, 80, 100 years.
No.
Yes, we possibly could. But again, we didn't have the news, we didn't have media, we didn't have mobile phones. I mean, we can't stand here and say that one side overruled another side, or one side lost more life than another side.
I'll tell you, John.
We can't say that we are, one side is wrong or one side is not wrong. At the end of the day, what's happening and what's been happening over 100 odd years is, as I said, and I said half an hour ago, innocent women and children are being killed for the sake of a god, their god, or land.
Yeah.
And that's where I stand. It's
I
very simple.
You know what?
I'm not a politician. I'm not educated to all that extent in the Quran or even my own faith. What I'm saying to you is, where we are now, over 100 years, has anyone learned anything?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Has anyone learned anything?
John, we see you as a very nice person, honestly, and we see you are gauging. But my understanding is this is a matter of our education. And I tell you, I'll give you a small history behind. You know, sorry?
Before that, like,
Yeah,
if
please.
you mentioned that we are not, even in war, we are not allowed to force anyone to believe what we believe, you know?
Yeah,
So
of
you
course,
should know,
of course. Allah mentioned that la ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion, so we are not allowed to force our belief to someone else.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we
this
are
is
not killing anyone for the sake of God, you know?
yeah,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here the question is Gaza, and if you look at the border of the Palestine and the occupied land within that, these have actually been a place which is surrounded by the Israelis, and there is no aid is not going through.
Yep,
This is the most condensed people living. Even their water is 97% polluted, right? And now, what kind of humanitarian crisis you will not be able to believe until and unless you go to Islamic Relief and all those charity organizations, they're going there and supplying aid. Even aid is restricted.
Yes,
and
I've read
look,
that yesterday.
I cannot think of any situation or anyone in the human planet that they are going through the similar crisis than Palestinian. It is no way possible. So we need to see that even their food, shelter, everything has been, as if like in your own country, you don't have any freedom. Just imagine your own home has been forcefully taken. Your own family has forcefully taken. Where we are in this world, like where is the justice? You know, sometimes I feel like the word justice may be wiped out from the dictionary. Honestly, this is what I feel. This is my honest take, John. And that's why I said, maybe, Brother John, you're a very sincere person. Look it up. Look it up, post-Balfour Declaration. And even if we look back to religious understanding, even if we go back to the Abraham's time, Abraham, when was buried, he never had a land. So Abraham didn't give any land to any son. So like Ishmael is an Arab, and his mother is Arab, and Ishaq is from Bani Israel. With the mother is from the Israel side. So What we are talking about is, even if we go back to the history, back to 2000, 3000 year time, actually only 3% indigenous Jew they used to live there. Now they wanted to make their own land. How can you justify 3% people living and comparing to 100%, 97% indigenous people, Palestinian Arab living there? This is like history is something has been forgotten, and to be honest, and this is not given to the normal people that and media will never able to tell you, because it will be a counter narrative for their.
That's what I made the point in the first place.
Yeah.
I said if you read the Quran or something else, you're gonna see a more understanding about the situation. So the media said something.
Yeah.
You say you already know the knowledge. You're not going to believe them. So I would recommend to.
Okay, brothers. Well, I need to go home.
John,
and
it
talk
was
to my
pleasure
parents.
talking to you. But
You too.
look it up, my brother.
I will.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, lovely to
And
meet you both.
have you ever read Quran, by the way?
I'm going to go and get an English version now.
Let me give you.
Okay.
Why don't you take from us?
And-
I didn't
Because
know. Okay.
yeah,
And this is like the common questions. Of
yeah,
people,
yeah.
about
Like let me show you something. Right? For example, if you go to chapter 4, yeah, let's say we are talking about those things. John.
the Quran was revealed over 1400 years ago, but every single verse is relevant today.
Yeah. O you who believed, be persistently stand firm in justice, witness for Allah, even if it is be against yourself. وفي أنفسك, or parents and relatives, whether one is rich or poor. Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not your personal inclination. So do not follow your hawa, the desire, lest you not be just. And if you want, distort your testimony. So even when you are in terms of providing evidence, do not distort your testimony or refuse to give it. Indeed, Allah is ever what you do and aware. Allah is Khabir. He is watching every step of the action you are taking. And Allah is saying, your return, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. You are from Allah and your return to Allah. And Allah will ask everyone in the day of judgment, accountability, that how did you earn money? How did you spend money? Why did you kill those innocent people? So we in Islam, we believe there is a day of judgment. And this place is not like Allah is not killing someone to forgive someone. Every individual will be judged by their own action. And Allah said, "La taziru waziratan wizra ukhra."
Again, that's what our Bible believes. We heaven and hell. So yes, there'd be a judgment day. And again,
You have so much
the words in the Bible and the words
Yeah.
that you're saying in the Quran, they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's the difference is here. We don't believe in Trinity.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
If we could talk about the Quran, like in general, briefly, like,
Yeah.
it's not changed.
So basically, Brother John, just give you a small brief about Quran. What we believe in this Quran is the verbatim word of God, not this translation, the Arabic,
Yeah.
the actual verbatim word that Angel Gabriel
Pray to Prophet Muhammad.
came with this message from Allah, the Creator, and Prophet memorized it. And this same memorization of the Quran of prophets has been passed down to the generation, and it's preserved its entirety with meticulous preservation, as if like if you check, if you wanted to check this Quran, like maybe if you can go to any country, pick a children from 7-8 years old, he will be he can recite you the whole Quran without seeing it.
Yeah.
But if you ask him about how are you, kaifa halak, he would not be able to tell you. So he doesn't even know the conversational English, yet he memorized the book.
Yes.
And that is one of the divine wisdom of God. Allah said in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِذِكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Allah made Quran easy for remembrance.
Simple.
And also a guide for humanity. Brother, John, we also believe like Jesus Christ is a messenger of God. God sent messengers and show them miracle so that the community can believe he is indeed from God. So Allah said, Allah mentioned in the Quran that وَيُنْزِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا. Warn them, those who say Allah has a son. So Allah said, how can I have a son when I don't have a wife?
Yeah.
You see, so the concept of Islam is the concept of Adam, concept of Abraham, concept of Noah, believe and worship the same God. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't come with a new message. He came with a message that already been declared by their
Just a confirmation.
previous. Yeah, he is the confirmation, and and the Quran. Yeah,
Messenger.
and Quran, a book called Muhaymin, means an authority of the previous books. We believe the other books are not been preserved, just the way Quran is preserved. So therefore, Allah need to send a guidance so that it can clarify what people are confusion about. You know, people are confusion about, did Jesus die for my sin? Or am I be accountable? So Allah clarified that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. I have created life and death so that, you know, I can test you. And mankind and jinkind will be tested. Yeah.
And the oneness of God is
Yeah.
very like emphasized in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Bible,
yeah,
you
so,
know?
yeah.
Like over time, you know, over again, it says Allah, God is one in the
Yeah,
in the
even
Bible,
like John, you know John. Look it up, brother John, if you go home, John 17, 3 and 4, where when Jesus Christ clearly explained who the true God is. So when we look at the Christianity, I find two types of belief here. One party who believe those Jesus Christ, if you look at all the clear verses in the Bible, you will find Jesus Christ is a purely a monotheistic prophet. Means he is believing in one God, worshipping the same God.
And he always-
Because yes, he was fasting, he was circumcised on the 8th day.
He prayed for God.
Yeah.
He put his face
Yeah.
on the ground,
Yeah.
just like we do. So we pray just like, oh, Jesus, please be upon him. Pray.
And now if you look at the Pauline teaching, which is completely different, he is coming to tell you, you don't have to follow the law. You don't have to do all the things Jesus did, right? Now, that's not the message of Jesus, that's the Paul's message. But again, same time, we don't believe, and Paul never met even Jesus. He saw the vision. You know, anyone can see any vision. Vision doesn't make it correct. And a prophet is someone who approved by God. How? Through miracle, through his character, and all of those things. When you apply it, and if you know he is a prophet, then you can accept and accept the testimony of the message. So therefore, what we say in Islam, that Jesus Christ indeed is a messenger of God, and he was a Muslim
He's more,
by action and by faith.
and he's mentioned more than Prophet Muhammad in the Quran, yeah?
Yeah,
His name.
yeah. No, I think the idea is a misconception here. He was named by name. He was mentioned more than 25 times. He was mentioned, but Prophet Muhammad by name he was mentioned 4 times. But in terms of pronoun, Ya Prophet of Allah, Ya Nabi of Allah,
Yeah, talking to him.
with pronoun he was mentioned more than anyone else. So, look, all the prophets and messengers' name was mentioned. There is a reason why. Allah bring the story of Noah. Allah bring the story of Abraham. And why Allah is revealing all those stories? So that it telling your prophet that you know the mission you are in, telling to people to oneness of Allah. The same your brothers in faith, Abraham goes to the similar. So don't, end of the day, those prophets are human beings. Sometimes they got fed up. And in one place, the Quran mentioned, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى. So, Atharim, that you wanted to kill yourself in grief. Not mean like, is a rhetorical way, yeah? Kill yourself in grief. Because they are not listening to your message. So the same way prophets, all the previous prophets, Allah give an example of the stories of the prophet in the Quran. They've gone through the similar process. And be steadfast, don't lost hope. And Allah said, you know, don't lost hope in receiving mercy from God. Indeed, if you receive, wait for it, you know, you will receive mercy of Allah, you know.
If you give him the Quran.
Yes. John, it was a pleasure. Do you have any question?
I don't have
Because,
any
you know, we
questions.
have so much to share with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But, you know, time, you know,
Of course, maybe next
you have
time,
short
but
term, yeah.
Thank you for this.
Yeah. But it was a pleasure talking to you,
You
John.
too.
Look
You
after
too.
yourself, you know.
You too.
And you have a,
Bye.
yeah, look after yourself.
Take care.
John, a sincere brother, and we given him some understanding of the real issue happening in Palestine and Israel. And you know, look, we asked for justice to be prevailed. We hope that no innocent life lost. You know, we are here for peace. Allah clearly telling in the Quran that be just and do not cross the limit. Don't oppress people. Help one another. وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Help one another in good. وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. That do not transgress and do not help another one in transgression. So, on this note, you know, I hope John taken a good message about Islam. May Allah guide him to Islam. May Allah open his eye to see the truth. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.